We start at Old Trafford as Mark Ogden joins us. Mark, this came pretty much out the blue, didn't it?
It did a little bit. I think, Jose Mourinho seems to have been a dead man walking for quite a long time this season, but he's survived. And one thing that the Glazers have shown us in the past is that they are often over-patient with managers. David Moyes was perhaps retained for too long, Louis van Gaal too long. It looked like the same was going to happen to Mourinho after he survived on Monday after the defeat at Liverpool. But one thing that the club were kind of briefing on Monday was that there was no imminent threat of a change. Well, imminent is a kind of word that suggests, something might happen beyond imminent, and that's what's happened today with Mourinho going. I don't think it's a surprise overall. I think the mood of the club, the way they were playing, the results, 19 points behind Liverpool, 11 points off the top four, that can't go on. That's unsustainable. And even if you're Jose Mourinho with a great track record, we're talking about Mourinho from 15 years ago, who was the special one. He's not special anymore.
We'll talk about the big picture with regards to who may come in a little later on. But short term, what are you hearing, Mark?
Well, the short-term plan is that until the end of the season they'll bring in an interim coach, and it looks like it's going to be Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, who a lot of United fans will know from the past as being one of their heroes. He's currently in Norway with Molde. Doesn't have a great track record in the Premier League. He took Cardiff down when he had his 6 months there, and obviously the first game this weekend is Cardiff away, so it's an interesting start for Solskjaer. Not happened yet, but I expect that to be confirmed within the next 24 hours so that he's in charge for the weekend. And the idea is that somebody comes in and restores not restores, but brings back a feel-good factor and just makes the club a happier club again. And he's respected by all. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, the boardroom, the players, the fans. And also quite significantly, maybe he was the reserve team coach when Paul Pogba came through as a young player. So he's had Pogba before. He's found a way to get the best out of him, which is not an easy thing to do. And maybe United are thinking, well, Mourinho couldn't do it. He's our most expensive player. Maybe Solskjaer can do it and get a game out of Pogba for once.
You must have had dressing rooms like this, Craig, in the past. Is it just a case of anyone to come in? Because obviously they haven't been doing it on the field, but just the fact that it isn't Mourinho in charge, that things can turn around.
I've been in dressing rooms that have been slightly problematic, but I don't think I've ever been at a club that's been as toxic as that, really, because that's, you think about it. I think in the old days maybe Mourinho was picking and choosing his fights. But it just seemed like he'd fixed a bayonet here, and he's willing and wanting to take on everybody, from media to players to hierarchy. Even going back to the summer when they were here in the US, and he was still, he was digging out at the transfer policy at the board. He was having pops at players going back whose partners were giving birth, and it was ongoing. Bad results, bad performances, terrible to watch, miles off the top, as Mark said. No clear strategy, whilst Liverpool and Man United and the rest have got a forward-thinking plan, are playing some great stuff, and they're pushing on, and they could not let this go on any longer, because you've got star players, you've got massive salaries, you've got young talented guys, and they're all looking around for a little bit of leadership, and they're not getting any.
I think that's a big question. That's a big pointer to your question, Dan. It's about leadership, and yes, this dressing room has been simply awful, and Jose Mourinho going now, I think, does a bit in terms of lifting a bit of pressure from players' shoulders. None more so than Paul Pogba and Alexis Sanchez. But it's about leadership. And you look in this dressing room, and as toxic as it is, as problematic as it is on the field, there's nobody who you feel has the personality, has the respect to really take control. And I'm not sure that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is the one to do that either. And that, for me, is the big question that has to be out or has to be answered by a manager, even in the short term.
I think anyone who can get the place bubbly again between now and the end of the season at least has got half a chance. The boys might know better than me about this, but to my knowledge, when United brought him in, there was an air of desperation, of course, after Moyes and Van Gaal. But there was a lot of people scratching their heads at boardroom level, because some were saying, well, this could divide the club. We know what he's like. He may get his silverware. He may take us forward, but he could and may well divide this club. That's the way that he operates. And there was a lot of people, I believe, at United within boardroom level that were against taking Mourinho, but they were at a stage where they were up against, they were struggling. So, unfortunately for them, it came home to roost. He went in, he divided, he broke the whole place up, and at the moment it is a camp that needs somebody to come in and bring them just back together as a team.